everyone! If you're new to our channel, my name is Angel.
And I'm Troy, and welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about our culture shocks or the things that we found different
When we first came here to Canada, let's hop onto the video. First on our list is checking the weather app. So in the Philippines, we don't usually use the weather app on our phone, right? It's like not a normal thing, but here in Canada, it's very important that you check your weather app. The reason is you will base your outfit or like your clothes you're gonna wear for the day based on the weather.
Yeah, because what I've noticed is some days you can like experience all the seasons in just one day. Like for example, by the time you go out in the morning, it's gonna be pretty cold, and then when it goes usually on the noon to the afternoon, it's gonna be like summerish, like
Super
summerish
crazy
vibe.
hot, yeah. But like in the evening, it's gonna get cold again.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold again, so just be ready. Like for example, you're just wearing a shirt, just make sure to bring like a light jacket or a cardigan to top onto that. Okay, so next on our list is the public transit. So here we usually check the time of the bus or the subway in Google. Google, right?
Google Maps.
Yeah, Google Maps. So sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not, but it's just like a few minutes difference. For example, like your bus is coming at around 6:55 like on the Google Maps, but then sometimes it might come early or might come late, so it's better to go to the bus stop earlier than the estimated time of arrival. What do you think is the difference of the public transit here in Canada and in the Philippines?
Well, we do have a lot of available buses and subways. It's just that, like for me, the only thing is that sometimes when I go to point A to point B, it could take me like 10 minutes drive, but if I take the bus, it could lead like 30 minutes because of a lot of bus stops. But the thing is, when I compare it with the Philippines, I will still save more time commuting here in Canada versus in the Philippines. I heard now it takes them like 2 hours to 3 hours of commute going to work and another 3 hours going back. So I feel like that's too much for me. Like here in Canada, I like from my place to like my school, for example, it took me like an hour and a half. But that's fine with me because it's only one bus. It's very convenient. So
Yeah, because like the traffic is really bad in the Philippines. Like for example, you're from Cubao and you're going to Mandaluyong, for example. Yeah, so how long will it take to
I don't
commute
know, 40
going there?
minutes?
Is it? I'm
Or
not
an
really
hour?
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just crazy. As you have mentioned, we were using like Google Maps as our guide, like to check the bus schedules and even like the distance from one place to another, if we can walk or we can take subway or the bus. So we use Google Maps. We've been using it for quite some time. Wherever we travel, we always use Google Maps. But for some of our friends, they do use like transit apps. I'm not sure, but that's what they call. And some of my friends also use Apple Maps. So, and some of them they use Waze, but Waze usually is only used for driving. I'm not sure, but yeah, Google Maps, it's the best for us so far. Next on our list is that here in Canada, we don't have Bday.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, bidet looks like a little shower head that we use to wash the thing down there after you do your number two. So yeah, so here in Canada, like the washrooms here in Canada doesn't have like a portable bidet or whatever you call it. We only have like tissue paper on the washroom. and it was like a bit uncomfortable whenever you feel like you have to go to the call of nature. It's kind of a bit weird at first, but then you always have to adapt.
I feel like we can buy a bidet and set it up on our washroom, but I don't know why Canadians don't have bidet.
I think mostly in the western area of the world.
Oh, they use tissue paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think bidet is more of like an Asian thing. I'm not sure, or maybe
But we
some other
can,
countries also use it.
yeah,
Oh,
but we can use tabo. No,
yeah,
what's the English of tabo?
and it's like a table looks like a small a dipper.
Dipper,
Yeah,
dipper,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
dipper.
like small plastic dipper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Talking about washrooms, so what I noticed here in Canada about the public washrooms is that they have like a huge gap on the doors, like of the cubicles, right? Like
Yeah,
there's like a gap, like a huge, like it's like an inch
an
gap. I'm not
inch. I feel like
sure.
it's an inch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like an inch gap. So there are times that you could see like the person, but you don't have to stare at the person inside. But then yeah, it's kind of a bit uncomfortable if you're the one sitting inside and you can see other people passing by.
Yeah. Another big culture shock for us here in Canada is the return policy. So, whenever you buy something from the mall or supermarket, even grocery stores,
Yeah.
you can return the item even if you don't have a receipt. So, some stores they do accept without receipt, but most of their stores they do accept returns within 30 days with a receipt.
Yeah, yeah,
30,
mostly
90
within
days.
30 days.
So most of the stores here, they even encourage you to just pay and buy the clothes or the item and try it on when you get home so that you can skip the long lines in the fitting room.
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes there's like a long line going to the fitting room. It takes about like 15 to 30 minutes during the weekend. So yeah, so most of the stores encourage you to just fit it at home and then return it whenever it's not your size or whatever.
Really,
So yeah, so 30 days return policy is a thing here in Canada. That's what I've noticed because I think it's non-existent in the Philippines in some stores. I'm not sure.
maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure. It's not as like a super thing.
Like even the appliances in Walmart, you can always return it if it's defective or
Yeah. Can we give an example for that? The Walmart thing.
oh yeah, so before we bought a steamer for clothes. Yeah, this is
Yes.
steamer, right? We've used it for like a few times, but then it stopped working. So yeah, we decided to return it to Walmart, and we were not quite sure if they will accept it back, but then they did.
They only ask us, why are you returning this
Yeah,
item?
what's the issue?
Yeah, what's the issue? And no further questions. Like they're gonna refund you the whole amount. No questions asked. Even Costco, we haven't tried Costco, but I saw a lot on social media accounts. Like they're saying that you can return anything at Costco.
Okay, so another thing that we find really different is the GST or goods and services tax here in Canada. Because in the Philippines, what you see on the price tag
Is the actual
is the actual price that you have to pay for. So here in Canada, like if you see like the price of the shirt is like $19.90.
Here in Ontario, you have to add up another 13%.
Yeah,
That would be your
13%.
total amount.
13% in Ontario, and 5% in
British Columbia.
BC and Saskatchewan, I think.
So next thing, here in Canada, they are not used to calling you like sir, mom, or madam, or boss. They would call you first name basis. Like for me, my name is Angel Dana. They'll call me Angel. They're never gonna call me Ma'am Angel or Madam Angel. No. But for them, even if they call you first name basis, it's not like they're not respecting you. It's just the way, like it's just the culture here. Yeah.
Like even the managers or your bosses, you just call them by their first names. So it was a bit awkward at first, right? Because you know like in the Philippines, we have like this thing that we are respectful for our superiors or our elders. Here in Canada, we just call them by their first names.
Yeah, first name basis. But for me, for example, I still do call the doctor in our office Doctor Blank. I never call him first name, like his first name. But his wife, I do call her first name. So even if she's my boss or she's our manager, I still call her for like her first name. But for the doctors, I still call them Doctor Blank. So why do you think they are used to doing the first name basis here in general in Canada?
I think it's because they're not obsessed to the titles, even if you're a janitor or you're a CEO of the company. You just call them by their first name. So it's more of like an equality thing, I think, or maybe it's just the culture. Like in the Philippines, if you're a doctor or you're an attorney, like some of them, not all of them, they have like a superiority complex that I am more knowledgeable, I am more superior than you guys. So another thing is that you can pay everything using your phone, even on your watch.
Yeah, because when I first worked here in Canada, it's a restaurant. I remember I was so shocked when I asked them like, "Hi, how do you like to pay?" And they're like tapping their watch, they're tapping their phone, they're tapping their card. Because in the Philippines, you can't tap your card. I don't know, but for me, I haven't experienced tapping my card to pay.
You always have to insert
To
it and
insert.
then put your PIN. Most of the stores here in Canada are cashless.
Yeah.
Like even I don't have a cash anymore. I don't use cash anymore.
Yeah, maybe because here in Canada, credit score is a thing. That's why not a lot of people use cash. Credit score is like,
Financial standing.
yeah, financial standing, exactly.
Like for example, if you want to buy a car or want to have a house mortgage, the agents will always check your credit score if you can afford this, because credit score shows that if you can pay your bills on time.
That's the reason why most Canadians use their cards, not the debit cards. They use credit cards. But the thing is, just a bit of a reminder, yes, we do have credit cards. We do have like high limits, but we need to make sure that whatever we're spending, whatever we tap, we swipe, using our credit cards, we were able to pay them, because if not, it's going to affect our credit scores. So
yeah, make sure to pay your credit cards on time, or like by the time your e-statement was released.
Yeah, you have to pay before the due date. So another thing here in Canada, I'm kind of surprised because when I started working, most of my coworkers, they're like minors. When I say minors, they're like 16 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, you heard it right. Here in Canada, you can start working at the age of 16.
Because I think in the Philippines, being a working student is frowned upon, but here in Canada, working in the age of 16 is normal. It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like I also have a coworker before in the retail. When I asked her what's her age, she told me she's 16, and I was like, "What? I'm already a decade older than you." But then, yeah, I was surprised. But then it's a normal thing here in Canada.
So when I was working, I asked my coworkers, especially those who are like age 16, 17, like, why are you working at the age of 16? And they're like, because I'm trying to save money so I can go to concerts, and they're saving money. And guess what? For why? They wanted to move out to their parents' place. It's crazy.
Yeah, and also pay for their college, because college here in Canada is expensive, like universities.
Yeah, like here in Canada, elementary to secondary school, it's all free. It's covered by the government. But when you go to universities and colleges, it's not totally free.
So I know some that has student loans. just to go to the universities.
As a young age, they know how to save, they know how to spend their money. Like, I feel like it's not a bad thing, but I was kind of surprised because 16 years old. When I was 16, I'm still fourth year high school
Yeah,
back
I
home.
was still a baby when I was 16, and when I see 16-year-olds here in Canada, it's like,
They
oh,
look
it's,
so mature. Other than that, they look so mature too.
and they also act mature
Yeah,
for their age.
yeah.
So
Or maybe because we look young, but like they look so mature and act so mature. I was so surprised about that. Yeah.
So here in Canada, cannabis is legal, especially in downtown. You can see like stores like from every corner. There's like a cannabis store.
By the way, we're speaking by experience here in Ontario,
Yeah.
GTA specifically. So I don't know what happens to other provinces. But yeah, I feel like when you first step on the airport, Pearson Airport, you'll get to smell.
Smell cannabis.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, but like it smells different. So you would think, oh, this is it.
Especially in downtown. If you go to downtown or on the subways, it smells cannabis all over.
So another thing here in Canada is the splitting of the bill. So when you go to restaurants, we were surprised actually. Like they do actually ask us one bill.
Yeah, if it's just one bill or you want to split the bill into.
Yeah, like into three. If you're like eating out with your friends and you're like group of five and you're gonna like they're gonna ask you like split the bill into five, and I'm like, what? Why? Like, why are we splitting the bill? Like in the Philippines, for me, if we go out, like with my friends, we do split the bill, but one person will pay first and then we'll pay, like, we'll divide.
Afterwards,
Yeah, we'll pay that person afterwards, but we never split the actual bill. That's so crazy, right? Have you experienced that one?
Splitting the bill?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember because I'm also wondering if you split the bill, is it gonna be like, for example, you're 5 people and then you split the bill, is it gonna be 5 tips?
Yes. I'm saying that because I've experienced that with my friends. We went to Cheesecake Factory and then with my workmates, and it's so funny. I think it was the first time we split the bill, and then you have to select. Yeah, they did split the bill. Not specifically if I ordered $12 and then they ordered $14. I'm not gonna pay $12 only. So we split it, like literally the whole bill, the whole amount, and then that amount they give it to each one of us, and then you have to input the tip. But for all of us, like I think we're 5 or 6, we had an agreement like, hey, 15% like tip, or like we agreed on a certain amount. So but yes, to answer that question, you have to give individual tips as well if you do split the billing. So it's kind of different, but something to experience.
Yeah, talking about tips, another thing is the tipping culture here in Canada. So in the Philippines, tipping is encouraged, but it's, I think, optional.
And they also, like in the Philippines, they do have service charge. For some restaurants, they do have service charge.
So you don't have to give tips, but if you want to, it's always like encouraged. So yeah, here in Canada, I think tipping is mandatory.
Minimum, I think it's 10% or 15%.
15% to 25%, I think, of the total bill. Barbershops or salons.
Oh yeah, I did my nails.
Yeah, like if you have a haircut, you always have to give tip to your barber.
Okay, so last on our list is the small talks. Here in Canada, they're super nice. Like, just giving you a heads up, Canadians, they're super duper nice. They're super thoughtful. So for example, you had a long weekend or you had a vacation and you saw them the next day, like at work, they're gonna greet you like, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
how's your vacation?
It's not just good morning.
Yeah, because in the Philippines, you just greet your coworkers, good morning, good morning. But here, they do have, they say like, hi, how are you?
How's your weekend?
We're so bad with like small talks, but because we've been living here in Canada, we have to adapt.
Yeah, we sort of got used to it.
Yeah. How do you answer if they ask? Like now, how do you
Like
answer?
before, I always say, "Oh, everything's good. I just stayed at home or wherever you went." But now you just have to like.
Good. It's like
Sometimes I
you share.
as yeah, I
Uh,
answer them in detail. Like
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, oh, I went to my niece's baptism, and it was like,
yeah.
and they're gonna ask you back like, how because sometimes other people has different religions, so they're gonna ask me like, oh, what do you do during the baptism? Like,
Uh,
how was the
they're
ceremony?
kind of curious
Yeah,
of
they're
what we
also
do.
curious of what you do.
Yeah, that's like I feel like Canadians in general, they do love small talks. Um, and it's a good thing for us because we get to practice our English and we get to, learn from their experiences as well because they do love sharing stories, to be honest.
I think that's pretty much it. I know we missed some things, but if you have experienced any culture shocks that we haven't mentioned, just comment down below because it's always fun to read stories about culture shocks and then realizing things that
Like, hey, yeah, that's true.
yeah. So comment down below. So that's it for today's video. I hope you had fun and I hope you
Learned something
learned
from
something.
today's vlog. And
Yeah.
don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Until on the next vlog. Bye.
Bye!